WeirDo, WeirDo 17, spinning weird. Chapter 1. There are loads of things you should probably avoid doing because they are too dangerous. Like swimming with great white sharks. That's dangerous. Or leaving your shoe out when a spider's looking for a new home. That's dangerous. Or skydiving without packing a parachute. Did I forget something? That's dangerous. But there's one thing I always thought was pretty safe. Actually, one thing that I didn't think was dangerous at all. Dancing. Yet dancing is how Granddad ended up like this. I guess you could call it break dancing. Sally had been teaching him these cool new dance move, which he picked up really fast. See, you can teach an old dog new tricks. But then he started showing off, and he climbed up on the table. I'm going to show everyone these groovy moves at my big 70th birthday bash, he said. Forget dancing with the stars. This will be dancing with the grandpas. Then he accidentally stuck his foot in a cereal bowl and slipped. Whoops! Whoosh! Splat! Those rice bubbles caused rice trouble. It was a big birthday crash. The doctor said he'd be totally fine, but now Granddad needs a wheelchair to help him get around until he's back on his feet again. So much for being the king of the dance floor at my party, said Granddad glummy. Guess I won't be needing you. Come on, you'll still have fun, said Mum. And I can always wear that crown, said Dad, reaching into the bin. Hey, party people. It just won't be the same, said Granddad, bumping into the bin and knocking it over. Oops. He was having a really hard time getting used to the chair. Granddad needed cheering up. Granddad, I said, want to come see my basketball game today? We're playing our biggest rivals, the Highgate Hyenas. He shoots. He scores. Granddad didn't look very excited at all, but he loved basketball. Granddad held the record for the most slam dunks in the local over 60s comp. Game on! He was the one who taught me how to play. Excellent dribbling. His legs might have been out of action, but his arms weren't. I tossed him the ball and he caught it on his finger. Okay, he said, count me in. I'd love to see your team take down those fancy Highgate wannabe hot shots. Chapter 2. We helped wheel Granddad up the ramp to the basketball court. This was going to be such a big game. I really wanted to beat Highgate, especially now that Granddad had come to watch. Highgate was a really nice school. It was way bigger and way fancier than our school. Everything looked shiny and new. Their basketball court even had an electronic scoreboard. At my school, we just had a wonky chalkboard and only one piece of chalk. Their uniforms were brand new, while ours were so old. Henry's mum had sewn on patches to cover up all the holes, and now even the patches had holes. Hey, Bella called from inside. Bella was there with her mum and her grandma, who was also in a wheelchair. Hi, WeirDo family. Then Henry ran over. Hi, Weir. Hey, everyone. Bella's grandma nodded at Granddad's chair. So, what happened to you? She asked. My knee. You asked Granddad? A bit of everything, she said with a chuckle. Henry's pop wandered over to join them. Next, Wendy's Nana came over too. Squeak, squeak. Clearly, Granddad wasn't the only one who needed a little help getting around right now. Henry's pop grinned and said, "This must be where the hip kids hang out. More like broken hip kids." Granddad laughed so hard he spat his teeth out. It felt good to see him smiling, and there was one way to keep him smiling: win the basketball game. We had to play Highgate 2 weeks in a row, and this was the all-important first game. We were pumped. Come on, Lions, I said to my team. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, go Lions, we chanted. Roar! But I have to admit, the hyenas from Highgate were in tip-top shape. We tried our best on the court and everyone was there to cheer us on. Go Lions, you can do it, woohoo! But it just wasn't enough. Bella and Henry's alley hoop was more of an alley oops. Toby's dunk was more of a clunk. My free throw was more like an oh no, not even close. And our dribbling was terrible, even worse than mine. The scoreboard was miserable, 22-0. We went out there feeling like the kings of the jungle. I'm the main man. But now we felt more like kittens in mittens. Purr. Our new cheer squad did everything they could to make us feel better. They were so positive, you'd think we'd won the game. Fantastic game, kids. What an amazing team. Some wonderful play. I thought you looked great out there. Gee, I wish I could jump like that, said Bella's grandma dreamily. Me too, agreed Wendy's Nana. Boom! Hang time, Nana! The truth was, the Highgate hyenas outplayed us. Yeah, they are all tall and they all have the best gear. But they also worked really well together and totally deserved the win. Come on, everyone, said Sue. We'll get it next time. We'll claw our way back. Roar! I hope that was true. I really wanted a win. Chapter 3. Miss Franklin had gone on a holiday cruise and we were trying to guess who our substitute teacher would be. Don't miss me too much. Who could it be? bet it's Mr. Stone, said Blake, and all of us groaned. Mr. Stone was the worst, but he's awesome, said Blake. I love that guy. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Mr. Stone was solid as a rock, and he was the biggest and loudest teacher around. Some of the kids called him Megaphone Stone. He was so loud you could hear his shouting in another galaxy. You're on detention! You're on detention! You're on detention! It wasn't me, I swear. Oh no, what if it's Mrs. Cook, said Wendy. That'd be even worse. Mrs. Cook was another terrifying teacher. She had an eye patch and a gold tooth, and she loved stomping around the classroom growling, "You bunch of scallywags!" I hope it's Miss Susie, said Henry. She falls asleep whenever she reads to us. Miss Snoozy. I want it to be Miss King, said Sue. She's hilarious. Miss King's first name was Joe King. Super Funny thought that was super funny. Sue, what are you doing with that ladder? Trying to get to high school. Mr. Harris, our school principal, stepped into our classroom and clapped his hands together. Attention class, he said, I'd like to introduce you to your substitute teacher. We all turned to the doorway. This is Miss Carroll. Good morning, everyone, said Miss Carroll. I'm so excited to be teaching you while Miss Franklin's away. We're going to have a lot of fun together. The whole class looked excited. Not only did Miss Carroll seem really nice, but we'd never had a teacher in a wheelchair before. Cool wheels, miss, said Blake. Why, thank you, said Miss Carroll. She then asked us if we had any questions about her or her chair before we got started with our lessons. Bella raised her hand, a little unsure. Go on, said Miss Carroll. Questions are how we get to know each other. Have you always been in a wheelchair? Asked Bella. An easy one. Yes, she said. My whole life. Some might say I'm a bit of a pro. And with that, Miss Carroll leaned back in her chair like she was popping a wheelie. Oh, wow, cool. It was so cool. The whole class cheered. Any other questions? Our teacher asked. Toby raised his hand. Will class be any different? He asked. Well, we might have to shift some of your desk a bit to give me more room to get by, said Miss Carroll. But that's about it. At lunchtime, our basketball team met on the court to get in some extra training. We had to give it all we had to beat Highgate in our next match. That meant improving our dribbling, shooting, rebounding, defence, pretty much everything. First up, we started some dribbling drills. It wasn't good. We couldn't even control the ball. We were in serious need of help. Henry bounced the ball so hard and so crookedly that it went bounding away. I'll get it. The ball soared across the playground, bounced and landed in Miss Carol's lap. Uh-oh. We hadn't even seen her in the playground. She held onto the ball as she looked over at us. We were in trouble. Was she going to take the ball from us and ban us from playing at lunchtime ever again? None of us expected what happened next. Miss Carol took the ball and headed for the court. She dribbled it, zipped around a group of kids playing hopscotch, and darted towards the hoop. Then she shot that ball from the 3-point line, and swish, it went in nothing but net. She shoots, she scores, Miss Carol called out, popping a wheelie in celebration. By now, everyone had gathered around the court cheering. Our new teacher was incredible with a basketball. Wow! And guess what? It turned out Miss Carol used to play for the national wheelchair basketball team. That was unreal. And even better than that, when she heard we were training for another big ball game, she offered to coach us. It was exactly what we needed. What do you say? Are you up for it? Are you kidding? We could have been more up for it if we were on stilts. Yes. Chapter 4. I couldn't wait to get home and tell everyone about Miss Carol and our awesome lunchtime training. Why do basketballs like cookies? Because they can dunk them. She showed us these awesome drills, I said, bouncing my ball around the kitchen. We were all dribbling and passing like pros by the time the bell rang. Catch! I passed the ball to Mum, but Granddad suddenly zoomed by and intercepted it. Got it! But then his chair wobbled and he bumped into the table. Thud, splash, oops. I'm sorry, said Granddad, passing the ball back to me. I better get out of the way. Granddad looked pretty sad as he started wheeling back out of the kitchen. It's okay, Granddad, I said as I helped Dad mop up the spills. Accidents happen. Hey, said Dad excitedly, I have an idea. How about we get you a basketball hoop so you can practice your shooting at home? Yes, please. Well, let's go, he said. Dad and I jumped into the car to go on the search for a hoop. If you know my dad, you know that we definitely weren't headed for the fancy sporting goods store, but I'm so fancy. Oh no, we weren't even headed for the cheap sporting goods store, but I'm so cheap. No, sir, Dad was taking me somewhere else completely. We're here. Isn't this place amazing? Said Dad. He lifted his arm and spun around the junk like he was a kid in a candy store. But this was no candy store. It's better than a candy store. According to Dad, all we need to do was to find something flat for the backboard, something round for the hoop, and something stringy for the net. Flat. Flat tire, nope. Flat battery, nope. Flat table, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. How was that going to help us make a basketball hoop? We'll saw these legs off, said Dad. Add a lick of paint and this backboard will look amazing. After some more shifting and searching and sorting, we found a big old Christmas wreath that Dad was convinced would make the perfect hoop. Swish, Merry Christmas, and a happy slam dunk. We were almost there. We only had the net to go, but we couldn't find anything right. An old shopping bag? No. A pillowcase? Not quite. An old bridal veil? Nearly, but not good enough. I was hot and sweaty and pretty sure I smelled worse than a skunk with a bad case of gas. He smells disgusting. Just as I was about to beg Dad to buy us a net from the store so we could leave the junkyard, I tripped over the answer. A fishing net. Booyah! See, said Dad as we drove him home with our new haul. The junkyard is way better than any shopping mall. And we didn't spend a cent. I might not have all the money in the world, said Dad, but I know how to make things work with what I do have. A dough, good attitude, good ideas, a few skills, muscles, great sense of fashion. Back home, everyone pitched in to help us put the basketball hoop together. Everyone but Granddad. Granddad, can you please help us paint the backboard? I asked. We can lift it up to the table for you. Please. Hand it over, said Granddad, pointing to the paintbrush. Granddad got to work right away. He painted the straightest lines. It was amazing how fast the tabletop transformed. I might not have the steadiest legs, but I guess I have pretty steady hands. And it was even more amazing how quickly Granddad's frown flipped upside down. Hey, why can't you play basketball with pigs? He asked. Because they hogged the ball. Roger and I plucked all the leafy stuff off the Christmas wreath. Underneath was the perfect metal hoop, just like Dad had promised. Don't leave me like this. Sally and Dad cut and retied the fishing net to make a cool new net for the hoop. They did such a great job. I couldn't wait to try it all out as soon as Mum and Dad hung it up over our garage door. I ran inside to invite all the lions over. Chapter 5. Wow, that hoop is so cool, said Bella. I can't believe you made it yourselves. Yep, agreed Super Funny. And I'm going to be the first one to score a slam dunk. I hope you don't mind. Now all there was left to do was play. We began with the dribbling drills that Miss Carroll showed us. We took turns bouncing the ball up the driveway through a series of makeshift cones. Bounce, bounce, bounce. We practiced our passing across a moving circle. And finally, we had a shootout. Free throw, WeirDo. Free throw, WeirDo. Free throw, WeirDo. We were on fire. Someone say fire. As Bella and Henry were about to practice the alley-oops, I spotted Granddad quietly watching from the front door. I could see he was frustrated. He couldn't join in. But he was wrong. He could join in. Hey, Granddad, I called. Could you please give us a hand? One hand or two, he joked. Granddad wheeled himself over to the garage door. He passed the ball up to us as we each took turns trying alley-oops. It was so much faster with his help. We even suggested we have some fun and drag out the old mini trampoline. So we could all try out some swish, mind-blowing dunks. Henry was pulling off some sensational moves. I know another way you can get more bounce, said Sue. How? Said Granddad. She pulled out her drink bottle. Spring water. Granddad leaned back and roared with laughter. He laughed so hard he nearly popped a wheelie. It was so good to see him with a smile on his face. At school, Miss Carroll was teaching us about famous people who live with disabilities. Did you know Stephen Hawking, the mind-blowing scientist, zipped around college in an electric wheelchair? Some even said he was a bit too fast. I'm studying the universe. I have to move fast. Hannah Keller, who was deaf and blind, was so clever she became a world famous author and speaker. How cool is that? I was quickly realizing that you should never let anything hold you back. You have to use your strengths, whatever they may be. Some might say I'm too short for basketball, but I'm fast and can get around almost anyone. See? At our lunchtime training session, Miss Carroll was helping all of us find our strengths. Henry's excellent at jumping high, even without trampoline. It's like his legs have built-in springs. Impressive. Blake's strong and always wins the ball toss. It's mine. Belle's also fast. Plus, she's brilliant at passing. Swoosh. Sue's an all-rounder. Plus, she's always lifting our team spirit. She pumps us up with her cheering and her jokes. What do you do when you see a ball with a basketball? You get out of the way. Wendy's amazing at grabbing rebounds. Snatch. Hans is the best on defense. No one can get past these good looks. And Toby's dribbling is truly dazzling. Just kidding, here he is. Now that I had a hoop at home, I'd been able to spend some time working on my shooting too. I was getting heaps better, especially with my free throws. I was like a jetty. I couldn't miss. Our training session with Miss Carroll was so much fun. We were all so much better already. Miss Carroll also wanted us to work together to come up with a super awesome combo move, only to use when you really need it. We all thought about our strength, then we tried out a few tricks. Finally, we came up with a combo we called Power Pride. First, Blake needed to win the ball. Grab. Then he'd pass it to Toby, who'd dribble it down the court. Pass, dribble. Toby would pass to Bella, who could fake pass it to me. Pass, fake pass, pass. Then quickly pass it over to Wendy. And Hans and Sue would cover me with defense, and I'd quickly read through to an opening. Defense. Open. Pass for Wendy to actually pass to me. Henry would get in position by the hoop and prepare to leap. I tossed the ball up just in time for him to slam it down. It was going to be amazing. If we could pull it off, we would go into the Basketball Hall of Fame. We worked so well together. I could tell Miss Carroll was really proud. Just remember, said Miss Carroll as the bell rang, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The whole is greater than its what? I wasn't sure what she meant exactly, but it sounded good. As we headed back to class, I told everyone how Granddad's birthday was on the same day as our game against Highgate. Let's throw him a party, said Bella. Oh, how about a surprise party? I love surprise parties, said Henry. We could have it in the school hall after our game. He'd get a real shock. It sounded fun, but I wasn't sure, I explained. How Granddad was really excited about his birthday until he hurt himself. He feels like he can't do anything else he used to do. I added, well, the wheelchair doesn't stop Miss Carroll from having a good time, said Wendy. Let's do it. Chapter 6. Everyone was there for our big game. Even Miss Carroll came along to coach us from the sideline. Rah! I looked around at everyone on my team. We all had our own skills, but what was even better than that was that we worked so well together. Lions! As I thought about my team, Miss Carroll's words suddenly started making sense. The team is greater than the sum of its parts. Yes, I finally got it. We weren't perfect players as individuals, but as a team, we were unstoppable. Go Lions! We hit the court hard and Highgate hit it hard too. They were really skillful and had clearly been training loads for the game. They got some great runs in and shots too. And so did we. Go Toby! Blake, you're a speed machine. Wendy, superstar. It was such a close game. The crowd was going wild, really wild. Grandad was on the edge of his seat. We were pumped. Then I nailed 2 free throws. Yes! And Wendy landed 3 pointers. Pop, 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 in a row. Everyone was on fire. Did someone say fire? One kid on the other team was so tall and fast. He seemed to be dunking every time he got the ball. My name's Duncan for a reason. Every time we inched ahead, Duncan would intercept the ball, run it down the other end of the court and dunk it. The score was so close, the game was tighter than a matador's trousers. They shrunk in the wash. There were only 10 seconds of the game to go and were down by 1 point. If there ever was a time for our super combo move, it was now. Power Pride! Quick, let's do it, I called to my team. Grab, pass, dribble, pass, fake pass, pass. Defense, pass. Opening, pass. Hoop side. And would you believe it? We pulled it off. Just in time for the buzzer. Slam it down. Roar! Chapter 7. We'd worked so hard together. We deserved that win. After we'd all jumped around celebrating the game together, my friends and their family started pretending to go home. But instead of heading for our car, we wheeled Grandad towards the hall. I told him I had an art project that I wanted to show him. This way. Surprise! Grandad was truly surprised when he realised what was going on. He grinned from ear to ear. His smile was wider than an elephant's butt. Wide and wonderful. He was so happy everyone was there to party with him. Miss Carol wheeled over, holding out a shiny party hat. Follow me, birthday boy. Miss Carol and Grandad led everyone to the dance floor. My teacher showed Grandad and all of his new friends that nothing at all can stop you from dancing. Conga line! Grandad was definitely the party king. We were all having the best time. The Lions had won an epic bowl game, beating our fierce rivals Highgate in front of our home crowd. And now we were helping Grandad party. Grandad was spinning and popping wheelies, just like Miss Carol. He was all sweaty as he wheeled over to me. "You were so great out there today, Weir," he said, "but my boy, you're a star on and off the court. Thanks for organising this party, and thanks for reminding me that I always have plenty to be happy about. You're the best. Thanks, Grandad." "Now it's time to get back up to the dance floor," said Grandad. "Jump on!" Woo! Woohoo! Thanks for watching this video, guys, and don't worry, there's more coming soon. So, see you next time.